I'm Cade Willoughby with Aramo Ensign Ranches in southeast Idaho, Marsh Valley. I've been with them going on 8 years now. When I got there, they had a 6110. It's what I cut my teeth baling hay with a steamer, so I've not experienced it without a steamer. Well, we've tried to bale without the steamer and quickly hook back up to it. What I've loved about the customer training so far is the specific breakout sessions of running the machines. Being able to get specific on, the 632 versus we used to talk, broadly about the steamers and what their process was, but being able to have 3 different breakout sessions that you go check different things out, the panels of having the different maybe baler makers, you could talk problems or solutions to those problems has been an interesting thing to be able to see that. And then I think it's been interesting this year bringing other people from the industry in to talk about, the stinger or the hay additives that they can put on while you're cutting or something. Just having the different people of industry here to be able to talk about them has been an interesting and an added bonus. The one thing about living in my area of Marsh Valley, we're Marsh Valley for a reason, there's a lot of moisture. We could get dewed out, the moisture might come on at 11 p.m. at that night. By 2 p.m. or 2 a.m. in the morning, we're already dewed out. And so that window for us to bale, and then you'd get up the next morning and try to bale with that morning dew, and it's hard to adjust that where we take all the variable out of it and put the moisture back in the hay. Of controlling your moisture, I was able to actually learn how to bale hay in the day easier, simpler. It took the variable of understanding. I just have to wait for the hay to cure and dry now. I don't have to worry about, is the dew on? Do I need to get up at 11 p.m. and go check it? I can get up at 10 a.m., get in the machine at 10 a.m. and start baling hay, and all I got to do is turn the knob up, put a little more steam with that as the natural dew come off. Way more user friendly, really. I was paranoid of how to use that machine when I first got into it, and now I don't bale without it. I don't know how to bale without it. Where everybody else was always rushed and wanted to try to capture every little bit of that moisture or natural dew, or was trying to find the hidden gem of how to make it done. What's the secret to let us get that hay baled this way? It's so much simpler to me. So we got a 2014, and so we'd just be going on 10 years. Last season, 2024, would have been 10 years with that machine. The investment in that machine is significant enough that we want to use that year after year, but yet it still performed. It's still done the job. We have now upgraded this 2025 season. We'll run a 632, and I'm interested. That's a big jump in technology and the way that it works, but our 6110 has worked year in and year out. I'm very excited to get a 632 and to see that upgrade change. Like I just stated, being here at the training and kind of seeing the technology advances, just so much more simpler. There's a lot less processes to make the machine run. It's a lot more simpler to where there's a lot less that can go wrong, I think, and you can throw somebody in it, another operator, and it's not just me that's got to run it. I can have my right-hand man run that. You'd ask me, some of the stuff we'd use that with. All of our triticale, we had about 800 acres of triticale that come ripe at the same time last year, and I was chopping 400 acres for our feedlot process, and then we still had about 400 acres that needed baled. And so I was running the chopping crew and left him baling, and he'd never baled before. And so we unhooked the steamer to try to simplify that. And he got to where that, he was getting up at 3 a.m. and started baling. And by the sun coming up 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, he was already out of natural dew and plug-in and just really shattering and tearing that triticale. And he had a lot of struggles, really hated baling at that point, and getting 30 acres done. You know, we had goals of 60 acres, 80 acres a day baled in that process, and he was getting 30 done and really frustrated. And anyway, we got done and hooked the steamer back up, and I went out and baled for about 10, 12 hours that day and cleared 100 acres. And it's just that to watch his frustration of, I hated baling it, to now I'm frustrated at you because you went and got that much more baled with that machine. I hope that this simpler machine, the 632, makes it that much simpler. Somebody else can jump in it and bale and do that process. I'm not rushed to try to save a little bit of stem moisture to then hopefully it pulls the dew in and gets that hay to be perfect and try to put it up. I can still, you know, go over to the neighbor's house that was baling last night and look at the bale that's hanging out the back of the chamber, and there's, even though they thought they had perfect dew, natural dew, the edge of that bale's still a little shattery. There's some leaf in it that you feel like it's a little shattered. You know, there's nothing more satisfying to bale hay, and the bale that you started with is consistently the same moisture, weight, shape as the one you started is the one you ended. And it doesn't matter if that's at 8 a.m. or if that's 10 p.m. or if it's, you know, in my valley, I could still, first and third crop, I'll bale all day long while the sun's up. You know, when I'm actually marketing that hay, when I'm calling hay buyers, you know, they come in and look at the hay and, hey, this hay's, you know, 1,500 pound bales. And I actually had a trucker one time come in and take a load of hay, and we got a port 30 miles north of us. He went in the port and got an overweight ticket and called me, and then he started freaking out. Well, these gut bales have got to have moisture in them. You're 1,550 pounds into a bale, and the moisture. And I says, you know, you got the hay test, you did the moisture. So I said, let's break a bale open and let's check it. And a dairyman had bought that. He was super nervous. There was moisture in that hay because of how heavy the bales were, and didn't hear from him. I had to reach back out. Hey, what did we find out on that hay? And the hay was green, beautiful. Everything he had seen on the outside, it was consistent with the inside with that bale too. And he, what kind of a baler are you running? What's your? And I didn't know. I wish you'd have told me that was steamed hay, and I would have known they were heavy. And anyway, it was just kind of funny for him to, once he realized it was steam hay, and now I have a relationship with him. He's hauling our third crop from last year out right now while I'm down here, and he already knows that hay is going to be heavier per bale. It's going to be a consistent bale no matter where in that stack he gets because of that. It's amazing to have a tool in your tool belt, the baling hay, that makes it a simpler process. Even though it's an added machine, it's a simpler process that you can control. Having the control of how you bale hay has been a great addition.